Okay, I'm going to try it again. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to work, but we will attempt. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's see. I see there's a couple people that came back. Yay. Okay. So I don't know how to make this 18 and over. Again, I'm elder millennial, so I don't really know much about technology other than I just push the button and it goes live. So you texted me on how to do it. I can't look now. I'm sorry. Shit. Of course. Oh my God, you guys. Please, if you can, go see it. I can't do it while I'm on a live, unfortunately. Hi, Jessica. Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I don't even remember what we were talking about. What were we talking about at the end? Good morning, Carol. Yep. Okay. So apparently I was harassing and bullying in my other live. I don't know who I was harassing and bullying. Nobody seemed to have noticed the jealousy the man had towards Tom Hiddleston, but I feel like you. Who was jealous of Tom Hiddleston? They should be, because he's like an amazing man. Okay, Madeline, I'll check after the live. Hi, Rita. Oh, Sebastian? Sebastian's jealous of Tom Hiddleston? He should be. I think you were talking about the stalker girl. Yes, we were. Um, when you get a warning, you should always restart the live. Thank you, Liska. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, well, not the first. No, I don't want a co-host. It's not the first stalker he's had, but I mean, Sebastian plays along with it, so I think it boosts his ego. I didn't even know there's a stalker. Damn. Is Seb Stalker that one Polish girl from TikTok? I think that's who we're talking about. You have tickets to see Sebastian in September at the con. I'm not sure if I want it now. You're not the only one. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to ruin the fun for you guys. I'm really not. But I just want people to know that he's not Bucky. And you need to understand that. Reminded me that one sound, who was jealous of Adele? Beyonce. Who randomly met him with a poster? Oh, she randomly met him with a poster in hand. I know, it was weird. She's interesting. I want Bucky Barnes, not Sebastian. Me too, Madeline. We want Bucky. I'm not paying money to meet anybody. I did a couple of cons years ago. I did a Buffy one, and then I did 2 Supernatural ones, and that's when I realized they're just money grabs. I'm not doing that ever again. They always say don't meet your celebrity crush. It's true. I met him, and it was like, and it was that good. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to. I just imagine that he's Bucky at the photo op, and then I move on. Well, whatever you got to do, you know. I want Steve Rogers, not Chris. Same. I love Steve. I love our Steve. I would pay to meet animals. I'd pay to meet animals too. I would. It wasn't that good when you met your favorite celebrity. I'm sorry. That sucks when that happens. Do you know that one girl, Kat, her hair is blue and she has a full room dedicated to Seb? No, I don't. I don't think I want to. I hate when we boost a man ego who definitely doesn't deserve it. I think it's a good thing you talk about it. Thank you, Petra. Thank you. Here's the thing. I don't even hate these guys. I don't know. I don't really care for them. But I want them, like, I want people to know how these men are. You need to understand, they're not the people you see in these movies. Lexi, I'm here, honey, listening in the background. My daughter's having a fit. I'm sorry. I hope she feels better and stops having her fit soon. My kids are finally back to school. That's why I'm able to get on here for a little bit. It's not a real meeting. It's a job, like you aren't being yourself at your job. That's exactly it. The celebrities are getting paid to go to those conventions. So if you're like, oh, he was so nice to me. Yeah, he's getting paid to be there. Of course he's going to be nice. Although I have heard on 2 different occasions, like it was like 10 years apart at 2 different conventions that Sebastian wasn't the nicest. So even sleeps in a bed with her husband with her bedding. Like, Sebastian Stan betting? What? That poor man. It was Seb that I met. Oh, I'm sorry, Rita. Okay, so that's 3 now. 3 I've heard where they weren't exactly the best. You have to look like his type. I'm telling you, if you do meet him in September, wear some pleaser heels. He'll pay attention to you. And stomp the floor with them before you walk up. You just have pattern recognition, lollipop. It's very true. As a Casey girl, we rep Paul Rudd proudly. So here's what I want to say about, I'm glad you brought Paul Rudd up. I think people get really confused with Sebastian and Chris Evans. And I think it stems because, so RDJ and Tony Stark have very similar personalities, right? So when you watch the Marvel movies, it's easy to think of RDJ is Tony Stark, like they're the same person. So you're like, oh, I know this person. I've watched him for so long. Paul Rudd is very similar to Scott Lang, right? So again, it's easy to think, oh, that's just how he is. Chris Hemsworth is very similar to Thor. So I think we get these guys and they blur the lines a little bit between their character and real life. And then when it comes to guys like Sebastian Stan or Chris Evans, they are nothing like their characters and people have a hard time differentiating. I will say Tom Hiddleston is nothing like Loki in real life, right? Like he's nothing like him, but nobody has a problem differentiating him and I can't figure it out. If anybody has like a theory on why people are understanding about him and not the other two, let me know. But did his stalker move into his neighborhood? Sebastian, supposedly. I was laughing hard at those videos like, girl, we don't really care. I don't hate him either, but I was one of their fans, then I found your page and I couldn't be happier. Welcome, Petra. Thank you. I wouldn't even approach him in the street. No, I probably wouldn't either. I'd probably just walk the other way. She says it's a coincidence and she's super shy to even talk to him. Okay, sure she is. Really off that, an apparently sweet guy would make his pregnant girlfriend walk faster the pack walk on V-Day. I swear he drags her around. Have you ever noticed? She's constantly behind him and he's always like pulling her along. Like, slow down, Sebastian. Jesus. I can't wear heels. Are you 83? I don't know what that means. No tension for me, I guess. You can try. Girl, who cares? Straight up model energy. Dominate that little man. I'm telling you, he would probably love that. My ex-friend now went to meet him at a con in 2023. She was telling everyone she was going to hook up with him. How'd that work out for her? How did it work out? And people need to realize the actor is not the character. My co-star was rude as fuck, but is likable. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they don't understand that they're playing a character that's not them. They're not that character. I got engaged in the live, so I've been sitting with a towel on my head for 30 minutes straight. Wait a minute. Oh, you got so engaged in the live that you've been sitting with a towel. Sorry. I'm already going to be taller than him. He's 6'1", right? Yeah, in those pleaser heels, I'm probably taller than him too. Madeline, who's in her late 30s, obsessed with him? Trust me, it will only make him feel secure instead of thinking less of you. I will tower over him. I probably already do. Nope, I don't want to have a co-host. Tom doesn't portray himself as Loki like Sebastian tries to pretend he's Bucky. That's true. That could be it. Tom is very much like, nope, not like that character. That is not me. He very much, so you might be right. It makes you insecure, Megan, being tall. I feel the same way. I'm not even like super tall. I'm 5'7", but if I put heels on, I tower over people and I feel weird about it too. But I love heels, so I do it anyway. Didn't Chris Evans have issues with stalkers? I thought he moved recently. I haven't heard anything about people finding him. God, I hope, stop bothering these guys. Jeez. Cleaning my house and listening to her as a podcast. Oh, thanks. Somebody else, Mega told me I should do one. I have no clue how to do a podcast. He should be jealous. Then how funny that would be. Can you imagine? Sebastian jealous of Tom. I mean, look how happy Tom is. Look how happy that man is. They should be jealous of him. I think it's easier to see kindness when they play a bad character, but not the bad one kind. True. So Seb wants to thrive in his career and have a family at the same time. Ambitious. I think he's having a hard time accepting that he's not going to get the roles that he wants anymore because he's aging out of that. He's in his 40s now, so he's starting to kind of age out of the leading man stuff. He really screwed himself. He should have done like action movies and things like that instead of these stupid boring ass indie movies that nobody. 183 means 6 feet tall height. That's awesome though. Madeline says, well, she didn't hook up with him, and on top of that, she's freaking married. Oh, what a nice woman to do that to her. See, my whole thing is like, what if you hook up with your celebrity, your favorite celebrity, and they're bad in bed, and then you ruined it. You ruined your whole marriage for that. Like, I just can't. I can't even think about that. I would be so mad at myself. I'm a Chris Evans fan. I don't really understand the situation with his wife. It's so weird. It's really... They don't even look like they hardly know each other. He is not 6'1". I don't believe that. I'm pretty sure that Sebastian is 6 foot, 6'1". I know a lot of people are like, he gives off short man energy, but he's tall. Can we talk about the fact that Chris has control issues and is always telling Alba what to do? So we've seen him on red carpets before where he's gotten angry. I'll be honest with you, Chris Evans kind of scares me. Like, he's kind of scary. I wouldn't want to make him mad. I don't even want to be around that man. He's kind of scary. With Sebastian, that man don't scare me. Like, I feel like you could just, give him a good and tell him stop talking and he would listen. But Chris is kind of scary, and he probably is controlling. I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, we didn't see her for a whole damn year while she was pregnant. Whose idea do you think that was? Not hers. Ex-friend in her late 30s obsessed with him. Her entire house is covered with posters and stuff. Like, not like comic book stuff, right? You're talking about like Sebastian Stan. That's so weird. She's met him several times, claims it's always been luck. That girl on TikTok. Okay. Mega says, I'm under 5 feet tall. Don't tell me about insecure. I would love to be short and petite. I would love it. You notice when pages popped up on Instagram or Facebook, it's always girls internationally. What? Like with Chris Evans, I wouldn't be surprised. I could never handle such attention from my fans if I were a celebrity. I couldn't do it either. I couldn't do it. There's no way. His career is dead, let's be honest. Which one? Evans? Evans hasn't done shit. He's lucky they asked him to be in Marvel again. He really is. Can you talk about Sebastian? I just come in. Oh, we can talk about him. I think Christy's right about Warrior Nun and Chris Evans. Oh, I didn't talk about that. I have a theory that he's the reason that her show got canceled. I have a theory because they started getting serious and then her show gets canceled. And her show did well on Netflix. Like, it was doing fairly well. And people are going to be like, oh, Netflix always does that. No, they don't. No, if their shows are doing good, they still keep going. I think he could possibly be the reason it was canceled. And he obviously didn't do anything to help bring it back. So there's a compilation on YouTube of Seb and Tom. It's supposed to be about their bromance. What bromance? They don't hang out. Please. Tom doesn't hang out with any of those people. He doesn't want anything to do with them. Anyone who pays attention can see it's just Seb kind of bullying Tom. He does that with, who's the other one? Tom Holland too. Like, I know they make jokes about it, but sometimes I think they take it a little too far. Tom Holland has a good career though, so I could see why he would, you know. Let's see, classic under the radar high school bullying. Yeah, Sebastian does do that. Fjord will bomb at the box office. I tried to look up what that movie was about. It doesn't seem interesting at all. Again, he always does these boring ass movies. He wants awards. That's why he does them. Watch the movie Outcome with Keanu Reeves. It's an eye-opener about what they go through. Who? I'll watch it. I like Keanu. He's probably the only celebrity I actually kind of like. Girls, I'll be back in 5 minutes. All right. Instead of doing those Playboy and creepy roles, he could have done action movies, says Nico. I agree. He really, like, he has potential to be good, but he keeps doing these stupid, dumb movies. I think the other thing I've talked about with a couple other people, I think Sebastian picks his roles based on, like, who his co-stars are going to be on purpose. I think he does it based on his female lead co-stars. Chris Evans is scary the way Joffrey Baratheon is scary to me. But you know what? Chris is even scarier because Joffrey, he was at least like open about it. You know? Like he was very open about what kind of a person he was. Chris hides it, and he hides it well. And it's scary to me. Chris needs a woman who will humble him, put him in his place, and do the secret things he may like to do. I think Chris... I mean, he could use that, but I don't think he'll get that because he's the one that needs to be that person. I think Sebastian definitely could use a woman to humble him and put him in his place and do the secret things he likes, and I think that would do well for him. I have a few Bucky things, but mostly comic stuff. Only one poster of his face as Bucky. Seb isn't him. That's kind of how I have my... I don't know if anybody's seen, I just only have a couple of poll videos of me on my poll. And I have the Winter Soldier Cold Front book up on a shelf, and again, that's a cartoon drawing version. And then I have pictures of Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes, and Natasha Romanoff on my mirror. But again, those are comic versions of them. And then I actually just bought a little tie beanie baby of Captain America. It's adorable. But yeah, that's what I have for things in my room that I share with my husband. You know, I don't have actual pictures of people's faces. It's weird. I have one Bucky Funko, one Cap Funko, and 2 Tsum Tsums of Cap and Bucky. That's it. I didn't know they made those. That's cute. Chris needed a more famous woman who likes being famous more than him, like Scarlett. He won't do that. Chris would never do that. He's always kind of dated below his status. And I don't mean to say that these women are beneath him. I'm just saying he won't date somebody on his same level of caliber, like of fame. Yeah, but with Tom Hiddleston, it's jokey. With Holland, it's jokey, and Hiddleston, it's more sneaky. I could see that. Yeah, I think Sebastian might be a little more intimidated by Tom Hiddleston, because Hiddleston has a good career too. Fjord, I think his character is abusing his kids. Yes, that's what I read. Why would I want to watch that? So that Chris could stay at him with his anxiety. I don't know what that means. Celebrities are what a-holes are or could be. I felt bad for Tom Holland when they started bullying him when he was younger than them. It was embarrassing. Because his career took off very quickly, and theirs did not. I mean, hello. Sebastian Stan is in his 40s, and he's now just starting to kind of get roles besides Bucky Barnes. Tom Holland has been getting roles since he started as Spider-Man. Honestly, because of his recent movie, Sebastian creeps me out. That's because you're seeing who he is. He keeps playing the same characters. And that's him. He's playing himself. When you're going to con, you guys should choose autograph session. You can just sell it if you get the ick. That's a good idea. Seb and Evans, ironically not Hemsworth, give off the vibe of ignoring women when they don't find them attractive. Yes, they do. there are a lot of men who do that. I agree with you. Chris Hemsworth just seems like a very happy-go-lucky guy. He seems very personable and excited to be around people in general. So yeah, he doesn't give that off. But Sebastian and Chris Evans, yeah, it's crazy, but that's their personalities. I think The Apprentice is the only reason why he has burned a lot of bridges in Hollywood. Yeah, I agree. We've talked about that. And I said that. I said that to you, I think, last year. Because I was like, hey, I think this screwed his career. I think this is what's going to put, like, the biggest dent in his career. And it did. These Captain America Marvel men are always weird. Anything on Anthony. Anyways, cheers to you, my dear. Thank you. I don't know a whole lot about... I haven't heard a lot about Anthony. I did hear that one blind item where he and Sebastian were kind of going back and forth with who could get more escorts on the set of Falcon Winter Soldier. And I also have heard he's not exactly the nicest to fans all the time. And there was one other thing I thought was weird when he was on a talk show and he talked about how he did not like when male fans wanted to take pictures at conventions with him. I thought that was kind of weird because it's like, these are your fans. Why, like, if you let women do it, why is it weird to let men do it? But other than that, no, I haven't heard much about him. I do have a playlist on his character though, Sam Wilson, and how they've just... Marvel's just dropped the ball with him, and it really makes me mad. Hollywood's down over 30% across the board. Wonder what is going on. Because people are tired of listening to celebrities preach to us. They're tired of them lying and not practicing what they preach. And then we're just sick of, like, seeing the same shit over and over again. How many times do we need to see Batman? How many times? And within Batman, the same characters over, like, we just, you know. Allison Kane, you know him personally. Who are you asking, me or somebody else? I don't know any of these people personally. I wouldn't want to be friends with them. The celebrities. Their egos are too high to be picky on what women work for them. Same as Ryan Reynolds. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Yep, Louis says people are getting fed up being lied to and starting to see through the BS. That's why Hollywood's failing. The AI summary of this chat says, debating if Chris Evans or Sebastian Stan is the more intimidating of the actors. Wait, when did Chris Evans get angry on a red carpet? We've seen it a couple times. I can't remember exactly the exact moments, but I know we've seen it a few times. I know there was one he was screaming at an assistant at one point. Seb does look tired and miserable lately. I don't like that. So the other thing, I mentioned that he's not really the nicest, I don't think, to his female co-stars. I think he's difficult on set. There's been rumors that he's difficult on set, and then we've heard, so Julia Louis-Dreyfus, they were doing Thunderbolt's promo, right? Which he wasn't there for most of it, and I have a theory on that too, but that's besides the point. They were doing promo. He was not there. Sebastian was not there. But they were doing this fun little thing where each actor picked a name out of a hat of one of their co-stars, and they had to say something nice about their co-stars. And Julia picked Sebastian Stan. And so she starts off by going, oh, he's a great actor, he's phenomenal, he's great at what he does, you know, she's really, you know, saying all this great stuff about his acting. And Wyatt Russell cuts in and he goes, oh, and he's a really good guy too, he's a really great guy. And Julia just looks and she goes, yeah, I don't know about that. Everybody thought she was joking. I don't think she was joking. I think she really didn't like him. And then we've had, on 2 different occasions, David Harbour even said Sebastian is cranky. And he also said that he made it, he was like alluding to the fact that he was difficult, but he said it in a nice way, because he's like, well, you know, Sebastian will just keep redoing the scene over and over until he gets it how he likes. He needs it. It needs to be how he wants it. So yeah, I think he's difficult on set. And I think he's just kind of that kind of cranky person in general. I was disappointed he played Trump, even though I did watch, but he was the only reason I saw it. I wouldn't even watch that. I read about him too. He's interesting. Let's say that. DC is better. Well, not right now. It's not. I don't know what's happening with them, but Sam and Bucky were great on screen, together on screen. I like them, their characters. Like, I like their characters. I just, Anthony and Sebastian have pretty great chemistry. They do. Anthony's a good hype man. Do you think Seb and Annabelle will be together long after the baby? No. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's not going to leave her. It's going to make him look bad. I don't think, I'm telling you, he's going to crash out by the end of summer. I'm telling you right now. Wasn't he filming for Fjord? You're asking during the Thunderbolts promo. He was. Here's the thing. Marvel is very, very, they like, you have to do the promo that they ask you to do, right? You have to do it. They're a very big company. What they say goes. I think because of him being difficult, I think that they kind of used, oh, well, you're going to be filming, so don't worry about not coming to this certain press stuff. Like, I think they kind of use that as an excuse to be like, keep him away. We don't really want him here. I don't think most of the cast even likes him. So Chris Evans used to be such a feminist and more political, but now that the U.S. is effed, he's silent. I don't think he ever really was that political. I think that was just him pretending. That was him acting. I want to hear more about Seb not being nice to female co-stars anymore besides Julia. Well, we did talk about how, what the hell's her name from Fresh? Somebody will remind me. But she always looked uncomfortable around him. We've never heard a female co-star talk about him. Like, never. Not one time have we heard he was great. I loved working with him. He made things really easy on set. Not one thing. None of them. Not one female co-star has ever said anything about him like that. Florence Pugh described him as sassy, apparently. There you go. Yeah. Sassy, Simple Seb. He's a fake activist. I thought he was different, but his silence is loud. About Chris Evans. Yeah, it's true. Oh my God, you guys, I can't believe how late this is going. I still got time. I noticed no one seemed to pick up on it. I think the Yelena actress made a comment too. Yep, that's what somebody else just said. She said he was sassy. Liz is back. Welcome back. Seb and Chris are a mess. I feel like they're having a competition on who can be messier at this point, because it's just ridiculous. Chris didn't even go to the premiere with Elba. She talked about him, didn't say much. I did talk about that earlier. And yeah, he didn't show up. God forbid. Why would you show up for your wife's premiere? Can't picture Seb going to the ladies of the night. Like, I can't. Why would he? He can get it elsewhere. I have a theory about that, too. I have a theory about that. Do you guys want to hear it? You want to hear my theory about why he goes to the ladies of the night? I have a theory. So, I think there's a couple things going on. I think, number one, he is into that praise kink thing, and I think he might get that from them. The other thing, don't kill me. Don't kill me. This is my opinion. I'm not saying this is true. I don't think he's good in bed. Because think about it. The ladies of the night, you're paying them to please you. You don't have to please them. I don't think he's good in bed. So I think that's why he has to pay. Because if he can get it elsewhere, why doesn't he? You know what I mean? Like, I think he's not that good. I mean, we don't hear about Chris Evans hooking up with ladies of the night because he can, get it from elsewhere. But Sebastian has to pay. He's not exactly, yeah, Megan says he's not exactly either. Well, I don't know. Is that real? What they've shown? How long do you think Chris and Elba will last? Do you think they'll have more kids? No, I don't think they will. Do you think Seb is going to marry Annabelle? No. He doesn't want to get married. He didn't even want to have a kid. He's only doing that because his mom wants a grandkid. You mentioned something messy coming. Has it come yet? I think the messy is he's going to have a crash out by the end of summer. Do you think Seb and Annabelle's baby was planned like a natural pregnancy? I talked about that a little bit. No, my opinion is that it's an IV. They had to do IVF. Which again, my theory on why he goes to the ladies of the night also makes sense about him being bad in bed. Because he couldn't even knock up his girlfriend. So he had to somehow prove himself worthy, right? Anything else interesting the bird might have whispered to you? No, just like the time frame of when the baby would be here. And like I said, it's going to be around Sebastian's birthday, supposedly. The AI summary now says debating if Sebastian Stan's a good actor or a difficult colleague. Thanks, AI. Thank you. What kind of crash out? I don't think his career is going the way he wants it to. And I don't think this baby thing was entirely his idea. Like, I don't think he was 100% on board. I think he just kind of went with it. And that baby's going to be bored. And he's going to realize how difficult that is and how tied down he's going to be. And I don't think he's going to like it. How'd you know the photos were coming? You're like my favorite psychic. I did mention that a little birdie told me that the pregnancy was real. So I just knew something, because here's the thing. Sebastian does this charity Zoom thing with Don, his trainer, right? He does it every year. So it's like a Zoom chat with fans. And he's live in this chat. That Zoom chat is going to be happening, I think, next week on the 21st. It's going to be happening. So he has to talk, they had to have said something. They have to at this point, because the rumor is out there, and if he's going to be live, people are going to ask questions, right? And then the other thing, his movie is going to the Cannes Film Festival. Cannes, whatever. Remember, I don't pronounce things right. He's going to be there in a couple of weeks. She's probably going to be with him. So they had to announce it at some point. So I knew it was coming. You guys are going to be there. Let me know. Send me screenshots. Let me see. I almost wanted to, almost wanted to join in. And do you guys know that meme with Samuel L. Jackson where he's just like staring? He's like, that would have been me through the whole thing. I would have just been staring like the whole time. But at least some of that money goes to charity. So don't give up on that one. Don't say you want your money back. Let the money go to the charity. I know not all of it might go there, but some of it does. Dom mutes everyone and reads comments. Hit switch to ask. So yeah, but I've heard he's not going to be there this year. So I don't know. One thing about Annabelle, well, she ain't gonna miss a red carpet. Yeah. So they had to come out and show it at some point. I knew it was coming because all of this stuff's going to be happening. Yeah, but what do you think he's going to do in his crash out? It's going to snow in the summer, if you know what that means. I think he's already kind of doing that now. I think it's physically, you can see it in him. It's going to be snowing. He's going to be and we're probably going to get even more blind items about him and the ladies of the night. Don posted a video. He was staying muted with while Sebastian leads it this year. Thank you, Chloe. So he'll still be in there, but Sebastian leads. That's very bold of him to do at a time like this. So I know I talk a lot of crap about him, but I will give him credit for doing that. That takes some guts, man. What dark stuff do you think was going on to come out about Chris Evans this year? Chris Evans has a really good PR team. His team, they really, really do a good job keeping everything quiet about him. Remember, I don't know if you guys heard, but with the wedding, nobody could bring their phones and they all had to sign what are those things? You know, NDAs. He has a really good PR team, so I don't think anything's going to come out about him, but I don't think that he and Elba are going to last super long. I really don't. Seb needs Chris's team, man. Well, he's not a big enough actor to get a team like that. His team sucks. Hi, why do you think he's crashing out? Shouldn't he be happy about this baby? He should. But he's not, because he doesn't want, Sebastian doesn't want to be married. He doesn't want to have kids. He's even talked about it. He said it himself. He doesn't want that. He's just doing it for everybody else. And he thinks that maybe this will get him a little bit more, oh, I'm stable. Look at me. I'm a serious actor. But no, he's not. That's why he's not happy. Maybe that's why he no longer works with Michael. He's an egocentric and narcissistic attitude, fed up Michael. Probably. What did I hear about a crash out and a fight with a girlfriend at Marvel premiere, Seb? I posted a video, it was like last week, I think, and it was just a video of him. I think this is what you're talking about. He was flirting on a red carpet. This was like 10 years ago at a premiere, but he was flirting with an interviewer or something, I guess. And he had a girl, his girlfriend was there with him at the time, and I think they got into a fight on the red carpet. And you could tell he was completely out of it. He was definitely on some sort of substance. What do you think about C not posting anymore? He used to post videos, photos, and now nothing. I think he's miserable too, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think he's miserable, and I think he's coping much in the same way that Sebastian is going to be coping, but I think that he doesn't have to pay to cope. I like a different man because of Adam, by the way. Adam seems like a good guy from that movie. That actor, he seems like a good... I don't get, why would Anne have a baby with him? Annabelle? Well, now she's tied to him for life. And even if they aren't together, she gets money. Why wouldn't she? It's not like a prenup and then you divorce and then that's kind of the end of it. She gets for life. She's attached to that man for life. Good luck. Good luck. About the flirting video, like, man, what do you mean you want to know what I eat for breakfast? Right? How is that flirting? It's so fucking weird. He said in the past he wants kids, but he does not want to get married. That's weird. He said he wanted to have kids to sound relatable. He doesn't actually want kids. When have we ever actually seen him, like, around kids? Let's see. Do you think that he and Annabelle will stay together, dating, get married, or break up? No, they're not going to stay together. They're going to break up. Why are they all miserable? They are rich and good looking. I don't know why they live like this. They don't get told no. And so when you don't get told no, you need more and more and more and more. And then after a while, it's just, there's nothing left. When Seb flirts, it isn't because of the girl. It's all for validation, insecure, and thirsty. It's true. It's very true. You can tell. You can definitely tell he's trying to get the attention from a woman when he's flirting. I feel like they'll stay together to keep a good image, but he'll definitely cheat. He's not going to stay. I guarantee you he's not going to stay. He's going to go the same route as his dad. The only difference is he's probably going to have a girl. Like I said, that's his karma. Don't you think it was weird? She was flat at Paris Fashion Week and now 6 months. Not really. That's how it happens. She's very thin. So yeah, you're going to notice as soon as she pops. He's been around kids, but I think he does it for image. What kids? Who's he been around? What kids has he been around? I know that Anthony was like, oh, he sends my kids gifts for their birthdays. I don't even think he knows what kids play with. You think Chris and Alba's relationship is real, or you think it's all PR? It's PR. I don't think either one of them like each other anymore. I think she was excited at first, and then she got to know him. And it's just, do you think Alba misses her friends? Yeah. And I have heard that they miss her too. The other thing I've heard, there's a convention, I think it's overseas, for Warrior Nun that goes on every year. And a good amount of the cast members show up for it and they attend, but she never does. And what I've heard is that it's not her people saying no. It's Chris's people calling them up and saying, no, she's not coming. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard. I can't see Annabelle Wallace as maternal. I can't see that either, and I can't see him as a father either. Like, I just can't. If it's IVF and the pregnancy's planned and they planned it exactly for August, I think they did. Yeah, I do think they did. Also, if it's IVF, she's very high risk, because not only is this an IVF pregnancy, because I don't think he could knock her up on his own, she's also 40, she's 41, right? So she's super high risk. So for that man to be going around stressing her out by sleeping with women for money, gross, dude. Gross. My friend was pregnant. She only started 5 months. She was flat, then poof. That was me, but 7 months. I didn't start showing with my kids until 7 months. Can you share how you know Annabelle is pregnant for real? Was it someone at their PR company that leaked? They didn't give me an exact job description. So no, I can't really give that to you. And I didn't ask. I didn't really ask because I didn't think that they wanted to disclose that. I think they would have if they, wanted to. Finally, a big role or another. Who? Chris is a frat boy. He's not ready to be a dad, but to mess around. Oh yeah, they both give off frat boy energy, and I hate frat boy energy so much. Oh, look, AI summary now is debating Chris Evans' marriage and celebrity relationship drama. This AI summary is hilarious. Chris Evans gives off Tom Cruise vibes now. I could see that, actually. How old do you think the baby will be when Seb ends the relationship with Annabelle? Oh, little. The baby will be little. If he even makes it until the baby's born. What if the child comes out disabled? They're so old. I hope not. But I don't think that'll happen. Again, they have money, so that tends to not happen with people who have money somehow. I was showing at 11 weeks and 15 weeks. I had a big bump. Yeah, everybody's so different. It really depends. You think Anthony Mackie's trouble too? I just hear bad things about Chris and Sebastian Stan. I touched on him a little bit. I think Anthony, he doesn't like fans very much. He really doesn't. That's all I really know, because I've heard a couple things from people saying he wasn't exactly nice. But I don't think he's nearly as messy as those other two. He's not even married, right? He's divorced. So even if he is like messing around, that man's free to do it because he's not with anybody. How long do you think it will last with Alba? A year maybe. No, Christy, the Warrior Nun cast hates her. I have to get back to work, but I'll DM you later. Okay, that's fine with me. They hate her. Gosh. You would think Seb could not get her pregnant on his own. Why do you think he couldn't get her pregnant on his own? Well, number one, they've been together for 4 years. They're both in their 40s now. If it was going to happen, I think it would have happened before now. And there was that, I talked about this earlier, that there was that blind item that came out like last month about basically, I'm sorry, I'm spazzing right now. So he was supposed to, his mother wanted to have a grandchild before she passed. I think he's an only child. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. His mom wanted to have grandkids. She's getting up there in age. And it said that his godmother was helping with medical funds. What medical funds? What other medical funds could it be? Because if he could have knocked her up on his own, they wouldn't need to be paying for medical funds. And I still, like I said, I still think it's weird that they had to ask somebody else to help pay for it? Where's your money? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I know where your money is. Why are you so obsessed with celebrities? Like, do you work with them? Because if not, it's kind of creepy. I don't fucking work with celebrities. No, thank you. Why are you here? Why are you watching my videos then, if it's creepy? You can stay here. You know what? I need some fun money for a trip in Vegas coming up. So if you want to keep watching my shit, go right ahead. Thank you. Feels like a FaceTime call, and I love that. People don't stop doing lives. I haven't done a live in a long time. It's been, I think, since summer. Because I also talk about, there's 2 TV shows that I watch. They're both on hiatus right now. I talk about Sister Wives, and I talk about Teen Mom. And so I did some lives for those too. Why would he plan a baby knowing he's got so much press to do around August and also a convention? So the convention had him already planned like a year ago. So I don't think that was even on his radar. Like, I don't think he was thinking about that. And he didn't secure that role of Harvey Dent until, what was it, like February? She was already pregnant. She was already pregnant by then. So I just don't think he cares. As a fan, this man got me out of a heartbreak I was suffering from about 4 years ago because he's not like the others. But then again, he is a man. He is a man. Why did you think he wasn't like the others? I'm just curious. I'm sorry. It sucks that he's like that, but IVF, they test for abnormalities and things like that nature. I'm sure they had their embryos tested. You're probably right, Kelly. You are probably right. You think there's an actual baby between Chris and Alba? I don't know. I don't see why they would lie about it. It seems weird, but I'm not mad that we haven't seen a baby. I don't care. It is weird they haven't talked about at least parenthood. I don't know. When you do IVF, you can choose the gender. Well, it doesn't always work out like that, though. But I'm telling you right now, I think he's going to have a girl. If I remember correctly, Mackie's been touched inappropriately by fans. That's why. No, what he said was he doesn't like men touching him at conventions. That's what he said. I mean, whatever, man. Whatever. What do you think of Wyatt Russell? Anything about him? I haven't heard anything about Wyatt. I feel bad that he got so much hate after playing John Walker. He played that role really good. He still plays that role really good. But no, I haven't heard anything about him. He seems pretty chill. Is a blind item site on TikTok or Instagram. It's called Crazy Days and Nights. So you can just go to crazydaysandnights.com. That's where most of the blind items come from. Maybe she's paying Annabelle all that money to have the baby. Please have my godson's child. I will pay you anything. I will pay you anything. Could you imagine? You should do lives more often, of course, if you have time. I can try. Next couple of weeks are going to be a little hectic, but I could probably fit a couple in here and there. My son's birthday's coming up. He's going to be 13. I can't believe I'm going to have a teenager. So I'm going to be busy for the next couple of weeks, but I could fit some in. Now this baby's planned for the Fjord promo boost, which is very, very sad. I wouldn't put it past him. You're probably right. Chris talked about only the fun stuff he wanted with kids and family. And that's why I said he wanted a wife and kids. He didn't want to be a husband and a father. That's how you can tell the difference. If Chris and Alba divorced, what would happen to the baby if there is one? I think he'd be completely fine with her taking that baby and raising the baby. I don't think he really cares. What do you think timeline-wise, Sebat, when? November, probably, is when they would have done that, based on how far along she is. Yay meeting was canceled. Can hang till the next scheduled one. What would you assume Chris's type is actually in women? Well, I can tell you he likes them young. And I've heard that about him for a long time, like long time, that he's liked him young. Because somebody told me a while back that he used to go to Puerto Rico during spring break a lot, and he would go to, there's a certain club that was kind of known as like the college club, like all the college kids would go there. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think legal drinking age in Puerto Rico is 18. So he would go there to hit on like the 18 to 20, early 20-year-olds ish. And this was like 10 years ago. 30-year-old man, mid-30s. Gross. I know, that's where I know you from. I used to watch your sister wife's content. Oh, that's funny. I'm still going to talk about it. It's just, it's on hiatus. But God, they're getting so boring now. I can't stand any of them. Mackie thing I was talking about was from female fans. That's why he stopped taking pictures in the wild. What happened with female fans? God, why do people get so weird? So fucking weird. I also love MCU content. So glad I follow you now finally. Me too. What do you think about Sebastian and Annabelle's relationship? Do you think it's real love or not? No. I don't think either one of them likes each other. I think she might kind of like him a little bit, but I think after all of the cheating, I don't think she really cares. You think Sebastian has real feelings for Annabelle? He's always looked so miserable. I don't think he's good at relationships in general. I think Simple+Seb cares about himself, and that's about it. That's all I think he cares about. Unhinged theory, Chris Evans' baby is set up to be called a hoax. I don't know. I mean, nothing surprises me at all with these celebrities, but I do think they had a baby. I really do. I can't figure out why Annabeth wants this baby only for attention, of course. Like I said, now she's tied to him for life. For life. The rest of her life. She's somehow tied to that man. That's why she did that. What was with Mackie and those pics of him groping, kissing a girl a while back? I know what you're talking about. I have no clue. I never heard anything else about that again. It was weird. Whatever. Look up the date when Annabelle started following the clinic's page. Is probably when. I forgot about that. Are Chris's bi rumors true about him liking men, and probably most of Hollywood's like that? I generally don't discuss that because I don't really care, like if they are into men and or women, but they're all like that. The fact that she had photos walking the big dogs alone in New York City is crazy to me. I thought that too, because we've seen him walking the dogs up until now, and now she's visibly pregnant and she's walking the dog. It's weird. If Seb and Annabeth decided late 25 to get pregnant, why didn't we see them together more? Because they don't like each other. They don't like each other. It's just, it would be horrible to use something like that for a movie promo, but oh well, it's Hollywood. Yeah, they'll do anything for promo in Hollywood. They're gross. How can you have a baby from a man you dislike? Money can solve everything. Yeah. It definitely can. And especially if it's IVF. They didn't even have to touch each other, at least, so. What do you think of Sebastian's past girlfriends looking so similar? So, so he tends to like the blondes, right? Like he loves his blondes. But I don't think he's very particular in who he will sleep with. I think he'll sleep with anything. But I think he likes having a pretty blonde on his arm to show off. This sub will go to Anna's Mutiny premiere. I don't know. When does that premiere? I don't know. Probably not. Leighton perhaps saw the trouble that was coming. Well, the rumor was that he cheated on her. And the rumor is she's the only one she's like the one that got away for him. The only one he actually cared about. And that was his own dumb fault. You couldn't have cared about her that much then, right? Well, Leighton did drop some hints about him, right? That he cheated. That he's a serial cheater. I've said this about him in my videos. One thing I don't understand is how celebrities be so sloppy. Like, if you do something, do it in secret. Things always come out. Like, if you're going to do something stupid, it's going to come out at some point. Do you think Sebastian and Annabelle Wallis will stay together, or you think they'll separate? No, they're not going to stay together. I don't think so. I answered that. He likes the blondes because his heart got broken by a brunette. I guess that's true. I think he likes the idea of Annabelle more than the reality. So, I posted, it was a little bit of an older, it wasn't even really like a blind item. It was NT, the guy who does the Crazy Days and Nights website, coming out and saying that Sebastian is with her because he needed to, like, calm down a little bit. He needed, like, stability. So that's what I think that. I don't even think he really likes her. What do you think? We didn't see or hear Seb or Anthony attend Evan's wedding. I think Anthony was actually probably busy. I have another theory, and again, this is probably not, it could not be true. But my other theory is that, first of all, I don't even know if Chris and Sebastian actually are friends, but I do think that they have hooked up. So, I mean, would you invite your old hookup to your wedding? I don't think so. No one likes Annabelle, let's be real. Yes, they have. Chris and Seb. Duh. I mean, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? Like, if they're celebrities and they're working together like that, they're two good-looking guys, hell yeah. He's always joked he's crazy, but at this point I'm starting to think it's true because holy macaroni. You're talking about Sebastian? Mm-hmm. He's not joking. He's telling on himself. Do you think Chris Evans' baby was a surrogate? No. I think he hid her away. Who hooked up? Chris and Simple+Seb is who I think that they hooked up. Megan says I even think they still might be. I think possibly during filming for sure, but wait, I think I must have, maybe I missed, maybe I didn't. Stucky chemistry comes from somewhere. That's what I've been saying. That's what I have been saying. Anybody who asks me why I think that, that's what I tell them. I'm like, that didn't come out of nowhere. Come on now. Scarlett Jo and Chris Evans defo did it. I think for a while, and then I think she got tired of him. Yeah, I think she was the one that was like, you know what, I'm kind of done with you now. But I feel like she was the only one that would put him in his place. Yes, filming press they have and still do. Yeah, so I could definitely see Chris and Simple+Seb commiserating together, and then, you know, one thing leading to another. According to Joe, who's Joey? If there's chemistry, they haven't slept together yet. Why don't they date each other and leave the poor girls alone? That's a good question. They should. That's what they should do. They would be perfect together. They're exactly alike. Alba was in Portugal last July. No bump. She's short, under 5'3", I think. I've seen a few pictures. It's hard to tell because they're from like Romanian TWINK Seb. Do you remember, I think Sebastian said it a while ago that like his stepdad was worried for a long time that he was going to be gay until he found a magazine under his bed or something like that. Like, he probably, like I said, they're probably both like that, but most of Hollywood is. So, girl, did they switch? No. What do you think is the number one reason Sebastian Stan and Chris Evans couldn't date A-list well-known actresses? Because nobody wants to put up with their shit. And with Chris Evans, at the very least, he does not want somebody on his caliber. He wants to be the important one, the famous one. would also say he wanted Black Widow and Winter Soldier together. Yeah. Yeah, Sebastian was very vocal about that. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of us were waiting for Winter Widow, but yeah, he was vocal about it, but we know why. Do you know what I mean? Like, we know why he said that. Not because he wanted to work with her or because he wanted that, you know, relationship brought to the big screen because it's such an important one, blah, blah, blah. No, we know why. I think Chris Evans would suit being with Normie. I think he actually did date. I thought I heard before Elba, I thought he did kind of date somebody fairly non-famous. We talked about Sebastian Stan blind item with Olivia Rodrigo. I didn't talk about that on here yet, but I did hear about that one, which was last year. So again, flirting with some other woman in front of his girlfriend. And I think Olivia was she was like 20, 21 at the time. Gross. Like, you're a gross old man. I don't know. Did Chris Evans ever like women of color, or was that a rumor? That was a rumor. I don't think he's ever been with one. I don't even think he's done a leading movie with a woman of color. I don't think. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. You think Seb would ever date a normie? No. Why would anybody want to date him? Why would anybody want to date that man? I'm sorry, no. A lot of men want to be the successful one while the partners stay home. Sebastian Stan gives off that vibe. He doesn't give me that vibe as much as Chris Evans. Chris Evans gave me that vibe from the get-go, and I knew that girl's career was going to be done. All of the things that are coming out with her now are from like she filmed them before they got married. She's not going to be doing anything while they're married. I thought Seb and Annabelle were going to break up. They always look so unhappy, and now they're having a baby. Well, nobody said they're still not going to break up. I can't see him flirt with Olivia, though. I can. He's gross. His father found spicy pics on a computer he had hidden in a file. That's gross to me. And I know people are going to be like, totally not. It's gross to me when we hear about kids finding that stuff. It's gross. When do you think ScarJo and Chris Evans were hooking up? They were friends for a long time, even before Marvel. So probably until Ryan Reynolds came into the picture. I date him to give you the tea. Well, if you ever want to try, make sure you wear some pleaser heels. Call him a good boy, and like he'll be putty in your hands. Him being a serial cheater and disliking her, where all that comes from, blind items. Some of it, and then some of it you can just tell just by looking. Discussing celebrity relationship rumors, Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan. Didn't Alba film Voltron while being with Chris? Yes. But I think that was before they were married. I think. Or she signed on to do it before they got married. But she has not signed on to do any projects since they have been married. Right? I talk shit, but I wouldn't kick him out of bed. I told you guys I think he's bad in bed, so I wouldn't even bother. I'm new in Marvel. I heard something about premieres in Singapore from Sebastian Stan, Chris Evans, and Anthony Mackie. Do you know anything? No, I'm not sure. I don't like when the fans glaze those celebrities. They're millionaires. They are millionaires. He talked about watching Pam and Tommy's video to get into the role of Tommy Lee. Don't get me started on that. That was when I started getting the ick with him. Why did you need to play? Like, they knew Pam Anderson did not approve of that. They knew that going in. She was very adamant about it. And they also knew, that film, that video, whatever, was never supposed to be seen by the general public. They knew this going into filming. And yet they did it anyway. And then, yeah, he's like joking about how, oh yeah, I watched the video so I could, take notes and know what to do. Gross. Gross. And everybody, oh, he's so hot as Tommy Lee. Do you guys remember who Tommy Lee was? He was not a good person. He's still not a good person. And then he ended up going out to dinner with the man. This is a man who, like, beat the crap out of his wife in front of the kids. And that's who Sebastian decides to hang out with? Come on. Gross. Anonymous on Tumblr shared their bad experience with Sebastian Stan at Comic-Con, said he was nicer to prettier girls. What do you think? I've heard the same. I've heard the very same thing a couple times now. Who's bad in bed, Sebastian or Chris? Well, which one of them has to pay? Which one of them is the one paying for women to please him? There's your answer. He talks about the pics found on his podcast with his buddy. Can I send you a link? You can, but I've heard him kind of vaguely talk about that. Rumors about how Chris didn't care about giving women the big O. He seems the type. Actually, you know what? I don't know. I think Chris actually is the one that would, like... Because I think he wants to be known as, like, being good in bed. Whereas I don't think Sebastian is at all. Chris was hotter when he was single. Who's Tommy Lee? Tommy Lee, oh God, that band, Motley, no. Yes? I don't know. That band, he was in the band, and he was married to Pam Anderson for a while. That's okay, Liska. I'm going to have to get going, too, because it's lunch. My cats are all staring at me because they want to be fed, and then I actually have an appointment at 1 o'clock, so... I'm going to... Yes, Motley Crue. I was going to say that, and then I'm like, why doesn't that sound right? I need to eat something. This is why I'm, like, starting to blank out here. I will check my DMs, guys. Thank you for coming. This was fun. I usually don't do very well in lives, but I think I did okay today. I will try and do another live again. I don't know how soon, but I'll make a post about it beforehand so you guys know. So, thanks for coming. And keep watching.